Hello, party people. I have a terrible headache and my eye hurts, so I am in bad shape. Not to mention the stock market is a disaster, but I did want to get something out there before Monday or before Friday closes, just to give you a final kind of full view on what I think about SWTX going into Monday. First thing I want to say is, why did they cancel all these conference calls? Or one conference call and two presentations, okay? The CEO of SWTX was a managing director at an investment bank in the healthcare division for 12 years. And this guy is the guy you want in charge of any kind of process for M&A. But what is he doing? Why is he canceling all these conferences? And why would he do it unless he was pretty confident that on the other side of the fence, there is going to be a deal? The biggest risk I see is they cancel next week's conference so that they can control their own narrative on the break. I think that if we get to Monday, and on Monday we don't get a press release saying they're going to hold their own conference call to talk about 2025 guidance and quarter four results, it's even more likely that we're going to get a deal, because they're not going to let them be in a quiet period for weeks or months, right? And my strong belief is that Merck is no longer involved, okay? I believe that because the language that has changed from what Merck said at JP Morgan in January to what they said yesterday, it's not just subtle, it's bad, you know? They never said they were only looking at small healthcare deals, okay? Small in the context of $15 billion in firepower and a $60 billion enterprise value or $70 billion enterprise value is not $6 billion, okay? She is very clear that small, in my mind, is $1 billion or less. So there's a huge delta between $1 billion and $6 billion. They only have $15 billion, and she says the majority or the overwhelming majority of their capital is going to go towards life sciences, which is the other division. So she's not going to say all of these things and say things like, let me be crystal clear, and then say them when she's going to announce next week that they're buying SWTX. You might be saying, well, she's just playing hardball. She wants to get a good price, and they're fighting over price. I just think this is extraordinarily unlikely. If she was playing hardball, all she would have had to say to answer that question was, we've been very clear in the past about our M&A strategy. Life sciences is where we are focused, but with the right healthcare deal, we of course would be open to it. As you know, we've disclosed, as of 3 weeks ago, we were in advanced discussions with SWTX. So clearly, under the right conditions, we would pay $5 or $6 billion for a healthcare company. I think she was pretty intellectually dishonest yesterday on that call. She can't say they're only focusing on small healthcare deals. At the same time, we know a fact, 3.5 weeks ago, she was in advanced discussions for a $5 to $6 to $7 billion deal. What are my biggest risks here? If I think that Merck is dead, then I am totally banking on a third party being involved. And I'm banking on that mostly because they canceled next week's conference call, okay? And where I would be wrong is that this is on life support. Merck has not disclosed that they have walked. They've been murky about whether they have to or not. The broker that put out a report said it depends on the materiality of the news, whatever the hell that means. It was material news for them to disclose that they were involved. So I don't know why it wouldn't be material news to disclose that they are no longer involved. My best guess to why they haven't disclosed is they're hanging by the rim, and they would buy it if the price came down because another buyer wasn't interested anymore. How the CEO would get away with that, on a conference call next week? Yeah. We said smaller healthcare deals. Yeah. We said we mostly want to in-license in healthcare. Yeah. We said the mass majority of our firepower is going to go towards life sciences. Fooled you. It doesn't make any sense. Merck's out. And I am laser focused on Monday and whether or not we get the company saying that they want to do a conference call with investors. Obviously, it's all dead if they do that. So that's where I'm at. I'm still very, very bullish. I think that people might be getting carried away with price here. Merck really could have just been paying $55 a share. It was trading 35 a day or two before the article. It was about 40 when the article hit. Yes, we're anchoring to the fact they got a drug approval. Drug approvals are important, but we have no idea what the internal numbers were for SWTX and what they expected and wanted out of this transaction. So it definitely could have been 55. It definitely could have been 57. It almost certainly wasn't more than 60. So if a new bidder came in, my hope is they're paying 65, 66, 67. My current thought process is you want to be long 1x2s against common and, be pretty short 65s in March and in April against your common, because that hedges you against a high 50s, 60, 63, $65 deal. And I'm not worried about an $80 deal or an $85 deal. If that does happen, we get an $80 deal, it won't matter because you haven't sold against your common. I think I'd even be comfortable being net short the 65s against common, but then you start dealing with upside risk again. But again, this isn't selling for 100. So that's what I've been doing. I've been selling March 65s at around 205 and 210. I like April's as well. And if I was going to put on just traditional spreads, my favorite traditional spread is an April 50-65 for about $7, $7 to $7.20. I mean, you're going to get paid there even with a $60 deal. It'll be a $59 stock price, hopefully. Your 7 turns into 9. I don't see this below 60, especially with Merck not the buyer. And I continue to believe we'll probably get a deal as soon as early next week. It's a very high profile thing right now. They have to come to a conclusion. I believe, based on Merck's language yesterday, that Merck has already been told that they are not the buyer. Cue to Maury Povich, "You are not the buyer," and then whatever, they dance, or I guess in this case they cry. So if they know that, then all that's left is the final documentation and due diligence for the bidder that beat them. And I wouldn't be shocked if we got an article today saying somebody else has beat Merck, and it could be signed as early as Monday or Tuesday. But leaks are only done for a reason, and if there's no reason for a banker to do it, and if the buyer has said no leaks, then there won't be a leak. So we sit, we wait. It's very risky. I'm very nervous. It's a very big position for me. I can't overestimate that this is far from a sure thing. My odds are my odds. I don't know whether they're 80% or they're 95%, whatever. I think they're well more than 75 or 80% is what I would say if I had to place a bet with somebody. I still feel really good about it. I love the fact that the CEO is this veteran investment banker. I don't think that we got to this stage. Oh, by the way, that's the other thing I wanted to say. If it is Merck, we are about 4 weeks away from advanced talks and 3.5 weeks away from the drug being approved. You don't have a good explanation for why they wouldn't have signed already, okay? They were in advanced talks 3.5 weeks ago. That means they were at or very close to agreeing on price. And there would have been any due diligence issues between now and then. So you have to ask yourself why. Why hasn't Merck signed? And then couple that with their language on the conference call. And the only reasonable conclusion you can come to is that Merck is not the buyer. And if Merck's not the buyer, how come it hasn't broke yet? And I like that. I like where we're sitting here today. We have a data point as recently as yesterday that they canceled their conference for next week. So again, my biggest risk, I think, I'm just talking in circles here, is that they want to control the narrative. It is dead, or it's on ashes. And they're going to do their own conference call next week on Monday to basically come out to the street saying, we're going it alone. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me again, hopefully when there's really good news, or even if there's really bad news. Have a great weekend, everybody.